Ephesians 2:8-9 proclaims, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." Grace. A simple 5-letter word, yet so profound in its meaning. It's a cornerstone of our faith, a beacon of hope and solace for many, and the bridge that connects us with God the Father. But what exactly is grace? It's not a reward we get for our good deeds. Neither is it a prize we win for our accomplishments. Rather, it's a gift, a divine endowment given to us by God. It's through this grace that we obtain salvation, that we are saved. Now, isn't that something to marvel at? A gift so precious, yet freely given. Grace, therefore, is the unmerited favor of God, a divine help and protection that we did not earn, but which God freely gives to us. The Bible states in Romans 5:20, "Where sin increased, grace increased all the more." This passage is more than just a comforting thought. It's a powerful testament to the infinite reach of God's grace. Imagine the worst mistake you've ever made, the biggest failure you've ever experienced. Now, imagine a force capable of completely covering that mistake, that failure. That's God's grace. It's vast and boundless, capable of reaching the deepest valleys of our sins and lifting us to the highest peaks of redemption. But what exactly does this mean? It means that God's grace is greater than our sins. No matter how far we stray, no matter how much we stumble, God's grace is always there, always sufficient, always ready to cover us. Every single one of us has sinned, has fallen short of God's glory. But that's exactly where grace comes in. It's not earned, it's not deserved. It's a free gift from God, a gift of love, forgiveness, and redemption through the sacrifice of Christ, God's Son. It's the hand of God reaching out to us in our moments of despair, offering us a lifeline, a second chance, a fresh start. Yet, it's essential to remember that grace is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. It's not a license to sin, not an excuse to continue living a life of disobedience. No, grace is a call to transformation. It's a call to turn away from our sins, to strive to live a life that reflects God's love and righteousness. God's grace is a reflection of His immense love for us. Even while we were still sinners, while we were still lost in our disobedience, God loved us so much that He sent His Son to die for us, to pay the price for our sins, to shower us with His grace. Remember, God's grace is not a license to sin, but rather a demonstration of His great love for us, even while we were still sinners. 2 Corinthians 12:9 reads, "But He said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." How often do we find ourselves at our lowest, feeling as if we're engulfed in darkness or surrounded by insurmountable challenges? It is in these moments of weakness that God's grace shines the brightest, illuminating our path and providing us with the strength to carry on. God's grace is like a river that flows ceaselessly, touching every aspect of our lives. It's in the smile of a stranger that brightens our day, in the comforting words of a friend when we're feeling low, and even in the challenges that push us to grow and evolve. We all have moments when we feel like failures, moments when we're consumed by sorrow or regret. But it's important to remember that God's grace is bigger than our biggest failures. It's in these moments of despair that God's love is most evident. His grace transforms our failures into lessons, our defeats into victories, and our tears into smiles. Just as a potter molds clay into a beautiful vessel, God's grace molds us, refines us, and perfects us. It's His grace that turns our weaknesses into strengths enabling us to rise above our circumstances and come out stronger on the other side. Recognizing and appreciating God's grace in our daily lives is a powerful exercise. It encourages us to be more patient, more compassionate, and more forgiving. It inspires us to live our lives with gratitude, savoring each moment, and making the most of every opportunity. Remember, God's grace is not a license to sin, but rather an invitation to experience His love, to grow in His likeness, and to share His love with others. It's a reminder that no matter how far we may stray, God's love for us remains constant. God's grace is ever present in our lives, transforming our weaknesses into strengths, our failures into success, and our sorrows into joy. Let us continue to draw strength from His grace and hope from His love. Reflect on these words from Hebrews 4:16. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Let these words call to your heart. Allow them to resonate, to inspire, and to motivate a life lived for Christ. Let the grace of God be a beacon in your journey, a guiding light illuminating the path forward. And as you walk this path, remember, you are not alone. There are countless others searching for the same light, the same grace. By sharing this message, you can be a beacon for others. You can help them find the grace they seek. So take a moment, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share this message. Be a part of this journey, this exploration of God's grace. May you always find grace in your time of need. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Stay blessed.